I do love when there is a story behind something, and somebody asks me, "Is there a story behind that?" And I'm like, "Oh God, there is." Mr. Wynn, I was interviewed just a couple weeks ago about the whole Vietnamese community really loving the Christmas special because of the way Mr. Wynn is portrayed and how it's his POV for the very first time. They said that ever that the war in Vietnam was shown from a Vietnamese perspective, which I find that who knows, I don't know, maybe, but and how kind of cool that was. And so the question that came out of it that I was really glad to be asked was, what was it like to make that with the Vietnamese cast? We had Hit Tai Lee playing Mai and Bowen Coleman, our old pal, making Mr. Wynn. And what was that like? And it was so fun. It was fun because Steve had a really neat idea. Steve was a good guy for the out there idea. Steve would come in with some really from left field pitches, and he's like, it was time to make a Christmas show, and it's like, well, what are we gonna do? A Secret Santa in the boarding house sounds pretty funny. We get all the board, a reason to get all the boarders together, Grandma to think it's another holiday, and Grandpa to MC. So you could like, oh yeah, that'll be great. But Steve's like, and then what if Arnold has to get a present for Mr. Wynn, and he has to kind of go interview him and find out what he likes. He realizes he doesn't even know Mr. Wynn. And of course, Gerald's great. Gerald's like, well, why don't you go ask him?
That's unbelievable. I mean, it sounds like your enthusiasm and the sort of spirit of the show was so infectious that it sort of like transcended your individual. That's kind of the through line for the whole show, though, right? Is like that Christmas special is so emblematic of what the whole show is doing, right? Which is like the magic that is possible, right? When you
I think in your discussion about the Christmas show, I think you guys were talking about Arnold's kind of spiritual journey that he goes on in that story, and I was like, dude, that's a deep cut, because I don't know how many people really get what Arnold's doing as he kind of despairs. That scene where he and Gerald are saying, well, I guess I didn't do it. Which, by the way, I wrote that scene. And it's funny, too, because we were like, oh, my God, he's got to lay out his pipe. He's like, at that crazy government building.